Hi everyone, welcome back and welcome to another reading. This will be your general read for October 2023 for those of you who have Sagittarius as your sun, moon, or rising. And if you don't have a Sag placement like that, and it's a title or the thumbnail that drew you to this read, I encourage you to stick around. There may be something here for you. The fact is, we all have each sign in some particular house of ours, and it just depends on what your sun sign is. For example, as in Aries, Sag is in my 9th house. If you were a Taurus, Sag would be in your 8th house, and so on and so forth. Now, I apologize that you didn't get a reading for September. My motivation to release these videos was waning. I just wasn't certain if they were reaching the audience and if what we were talking about was being applied or appreciated. Now you may say, the comments are disabled. So even if, something resonated, that option to verbalize or to vocalize that, or to express that, I should say, is not there. And the reason I have the comments disabled is just to protect the space and the energy. And sometimes when something resonates or hits a bit too close to home, there are some people who get defensive, and it's hard for me to read that kind of feedback and not think about it and not just say, okay, well, screw that person, because I'm just not that kind of person. Like, I'm gonna think about it, and a very real concern or fear that I have is that my intentions are being obscured or not understood. And recently I discovered that I'd received some donations, and some very kind words came with those donations, and it really motivated me to keep going. It's helpful to know that you guys have been finding these videos helpful, and that's my only goal, is to know that what we talk about here is being taken in and considered, and then you make your own decision and you do what's best for you. It's not to sway you in any which way. It's just to talk about what I see here, and what you choose to do with it is your choice. You have that freedom. So my aim is just to offer insight and to convey messages to you that are going to be helpful to you in any way. We don't put people down. We don't drag anyone based on their sign. We don't watch, videos for the signs of the people we have in our lives and, hope that they're having a shit time. We don't do any of that, okay? And I think that the realest and some of the best kind of friends are the ones who are going to be honest with you when, we need to do a bit more thinking about how we're showing up. And I feel like I'm doing my part if we keep it real like that. If what we talk about here doesn't make a whole lot of sense, then, I encourage you to give this read a rewatch in about a month or two. It may make more sense then. That was a pretty long intro, so I'm sorry for that. We're gonna get into this read now and talk about you and talk about October. No, we're halfway through it, but I think that's when you need it is when it matters, right? if you have been waiting to be contacted by someone, if you've been looking for a sign of some kind, if that's what you've prayed for, if that's what you've asked for, it's on the way. It's coming in. Now, the method it's going to come to you is, it's really important that you pay attention. And I can't really speak to that. Is it going to be a letter? Is it going to be, on something that's in a movie, that's in a TV show? Is it the actual person approaching you and talking to you? Is it going to be a kind of revelation that you have? It's going to be different for everybody, and God chooses to communicate with us in different ways. But when we pray for something and when we ask the question, you need to be open and receptive to receiving that answer. And if the answer is something that you know, are not particularly happy about, well, don't ask questions you're not ready to hear the answers for. I know that sounds a bit harsh, but what can I say? Would you rather not know? I don't think so. And I think that what you realize, what you find out may be difficult to hear, difficult to digest for a time, but the truth is that you'll be made better for it. The truth is that it's better than not knowing. It's better than living in ignorance or living in fear for some of you. So you get the answer. You get the news. And it's a little disappointing, but it's better to be disappointed in the short term than to get your hopes up or to continue to pursue something or someone that is not a real opportunity for whatever reason. So see it as a blessing in disguise. See it as an opportunity to invest your energy, your time, your efforts elsewhere. And for some of you, that's investing in yourself. For some of you, you need to put that time and attention into yourself. You need to prioritize yourself and work on your own garden. And there are people who they've achieved pretty great things, and you want to have that for yourself. And the reality is that you can have that for yourself. You just need to focus on it. Use that pain in useful ways. Use that disappointment as the kind of fuel that you need to elevate yourself, to work on yourself. And I promise you'll be glad that you did. People out there aren't apologizing for doing what they need to do to bring about to see themselves be successful or to accomplish their goals. And you absolutely shouldn't be ashamed of that either. The ones who are making you feel bad about doing what you need to do to ensure your success are the ones who don't want to see you win. And I think that you're pretty good about telling finding out who those people are. There are quite a few as well who are close to home, who do want to see you succeed, who do want to see you thrive. You should absolutely leverage those people. Could be, for some of you, there's a boss or a manager or just an Aries who is quite skilled, who is willing to help. This is someone who has a lot to offer. There's head of household energy here. So something here could be about taxes. We're not really in tax season, I don't think, but I do think that, oftentimes, the amount of time that you have to file can be extended. So I do think, if I'm not mistaken, there's a deadline just around the corner or coming up. There's the Aries. very, very financially stable and savvy, skilled in the execution, the methodology. All right, let's talk about what's here. So you find something out that's a little bit unsettling, but it's an answer that I think you were waiting for. And once you get that answer, once that communication comes your way, it settles in, you reach that realization, you can begin to start the grieving process. And the sooner you start that, the better, so that you can, I know how this sounds, but so that you can get it out of the way and you can begin focusing on other things. You can begin focusing on your stability, your sense of security, and it really does free you up. So if this realization has, for some of you, I think it might have been within the past week or within the past 2 weeks since we've been in October. Again, if what we're talking about here doesn't make that much sense, and maybe you haven't had a lot of contact with people, or you haven't yet asked the question or asked for a sign, give this read a couple months to mature and then revisit it. So you find out something, and the outcome is not necessarily favorable, and you begin doing the work of focusing on yourself and figuring out what you want and figuring out other ways that you can be spending your time. And you take command of your emotions, you take command of your feelings and of your heart, and you begin to invest it in other ventures. You start this process of prospecting, trying to align yourself with like-minded individuals, trying to learn all that you can about that new industry, or trying to set yourself up for success. And the way you guys do this is by doing your research. There is, however, quite a bit of experience that you have as well that you can leverage to bring about the outcome you would like. And I think that if you remember that and find ways to capitalize on that, find ways to relate your experience with the current issue or current conquest. The only way that you will fail at this is if you think you don't have anything additional to learn. That's a recipe for disaster. You're quite wise, sure, but the fact of the matter is, things are changing all the time. That's life. Industries take on different forms, things change, and there are different things to consider, but some things sure do stay the same. And your experience is absolutely valuable. I'll never forget, I interviewed for this job, not my current role, but the role I had before this one, two roles before I had before this one. So it was about maybe a couple years ago. In the interview, I got some advice from the one interviewing me, and she said that you should always take your work experience seriously. And this person I was speaking to was a director for all of North America for the company. And to get to that particular level in corporate America, you have to be doing something right consistently, right? And consistently making the right decisions. So I don't know about you, but I'm gonna listen to someone who has done it, and listen to their advice. And she told me, her first job, it wasn't fast food, but there are things that she learned in fast food, principles, that she was able to, that they those principles are relevant in her current role, but in different ways. But in that initial role, when she got her first job, it sort of formed this foundation or basis of understanding that, you know, with time and with maturity and with consistent work and effort, she was able to, even though she moved on from that role, and, you know, and that was decades ago, that base level of understanding has evolved and grown with her. So what I'm saying is that, you know, always take your experience seriously, and there you are going to be fine. You are going to be able to find a way that what you know can be evolved and applied in a different way, can be applied with whatever it is that you're working on today. Just allow that experience to evolve, you know, get out of its way, and don't be ashamed of it as well, and don't stop learning. You know, every single day is an opportunity to learn something different. Or, you know, build on what you once learned, or understand it in a deeper, more and it's another opportunity to figure out how you can apply it in a holistic way to your life. So that boss energy that we were picking up on, that energy of a mentor, you know, we're not too good to ask questions. You should absolutely ask questions. You should seek to understand, and you should get advice from people who've done it. If, you know, someone's giving you advice and they haven't done it themselves, that is a waste of time, because what they're telling you, it's all theories, it's all theoretical at that point to them, because they haven't accomplished it. So don't listen to people who haven't done what you are trying to do, or if they haven't, you know, in their own industry, if they're not familiar with what it takes or with the process. So that's just my 2 cents when it comes to taking advice. When you start asking those right questions, when you continue to ask those right questions, and you remain humble, you remain open, um, always be yourself, right? And, you know, do what you think is right, sure. But just allow yourself to be taught as well. You know, it'll make you an even better teacher. It'll make you even better at applying what you've learned, at executing your ideas. Um, you have I'm sharing a beautiful mind, a very beautiful mind and a very beautiful way of doing things. Your vision, you know, is you have what a lot of people want in that particular aspect. There's no shortage of ideas. There's no shortage of motivation. It's just really, you know, drawing those ideas into something, you know, fine and focused. And I'm just thinking of the distillation process, where something is just, it just gets concentrated or really focused. So that's the process that Sag must master. I hope you found this reading helpful or useful, or both. And if you're looking for more content as you wait for the next video, you're more than welcome to check out the Way Out podcast. We are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can find it by searching The Way Out, followed by my first name, which is Tyson. And I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.